post-COVID, many organizations have started maintaining their data and systems online. So I have seen many organizations even maintain scanned copy of their invoices or OneDrive, Google Drive. Okay. Now one query I get that Tally doesn't support facility or feature to upload invoice along with the transaction. So this tutorial I am going to demonstrate that how you can maintain your scanned invoice online on Microsoft OneDrive or business version of OneDrive and place your hyperlink in Tally, and then you using Excel how you can very quickly open any invoice. So let's see. Okay, so friends, I'm basically on business plan of Office 365. You can see @ excelkida.com. It's not any personal ID. So technically this is not an OneDrive, but it is called SharePoint. Okay. And I created one folder called invoices where all these scanned invoices which are available for the transactions are uploaded. So maybe you can maintain it year wise also. Okay. And on other side, I have transactions. Okay, let me show you some invoices on sampling basis. Okay, so you can see this way I am maintaining scanned copy of invoices. Okay, now issue is that let's say I want to check or view the invoice for this transaction of 21,498. Okay, so first option is that I will have to go into each and every invoice. Okay, like this, or maybe I need to rename these files based on this uh, invoice number. But again, if you have 20-30 files, then it is manageable. But if you have hundreds or thousands of scanned copies of invoice, then even searching in this would be very difficult. Okay. So let's see how you can integrate this thing using Excel. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I cannot upload invoice in Tally, okay, because Tally doesn't have this feature. Or rather, I would say many ERPs don't have this feature of uploading and storing the invoice and viewing it. But friends, these invoices are on my OneDrive. So for sure, I can actually place link of this invoice, okay, shareable link of this invoice here in my narration, and I can then simply quickly browse for the invoice. Okay, so I think first let's capture the link of this invoice. Okay, so basically let's first search for this invoice of 21,498. Let's go one by one. I think first time we'll have to find. Okay, 21,498. Okay, so this is the invoice. So mobile invoice. Okay, now in the OneDrive you have to click here on three dots and go to details. Okay, please don't use this copy link or share option. Okay, because this would not work for our scenario very smoothly. So just go to details, and if you scroll down you will find a path. Okay, path of this file. So I will simply click here and copy this its path. Okay, and I would come in the Tally. Let's go to the narration directly. I will click here and let's paste this URL directly into the narration of the Tally. Okay. Okay. So now our URL or link of this invoice is there in the narration of the Tally. But unfortunately, I cannot open invoices directly by clicking here. But yes, I can export this data to Excel and from there very quickly open this. Okay, now if you want to export it from here using export to Excel, but issue is that you can do that, but issue is that you'll have to copy paste the URL manually. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use Tally to database utility to leverage its automatic import of data into Excel. Okay, so let me show you. So I have already set up my Azure database over the cloud so that I can simply in one click synchronize data to my Azure SQL database and then quickly import it in Excel. Okay, so let me run this utility and let me show you one good thing. Okay, so I'm opening task scheduler. Okay, now if you see, so I automatically means automated this tally to database synchronization using this create task. Okay, so if you see, this will automatically run, or my data from tally would automatically synchronize to Azure SQL database at 10 p.m. every day. Okay, so I just need to keep that PC running where tally is installed. Okay, but I think let's run this manually for our demonstration. So it would run automatically, but it can even run manually if you want to, or on demand, you can say. Okay, let me run this on demand. Okay, so it is synchronizing data from my tally to Azure SQL database. Okay, okay, synchronization finished. Now let's import this data in Excel. Okay, so again, I would go to my OneDrive or SharePoint, you can call, and let me open new file. Okay, Excel file, and let's say my transactions. You can name it anything. Look at that file. Okay, and let me open this file from Excel app, desktop app. Okay, so I will click here, open, and open in app, because browser based Excel doesn't support directly, means creating connection with your Azure SQL database. Okay, but Excel for browser means app supports. So I'm going to data, get data. Okay, from Azure, from, okay, not Azure, actually from SQL Server database, because Azure SQL database is SQL Server technically. And the link, so link, you can, I'm copy pasting the link, and database name is tally underscore Excel Kida. Okay, I created it by name, tally underscore Excel Kida. So let me import. Okay, now either you can put your username password of the database, or in this scenario I have set up Microsoft account based, or Azure Active Directory based access. Okay, so this is a passwordless sign on. Okay, so while configuring my Azure SQL database, I configured this, so I have to do nothing but just hit sign in. Okay, and it would ask. Okay, so I already entered my password previously, so it took it, and I will simply hit connect. Okay, now I'm interested in just one table called TRN voucher, because basically I want to capture narrations. Okay, transaction number details and narrations, because my link is there in the narration. Okay, so I will simply import this, go to transform data, and load this file in the Excel. Okay, now I'm not interested in all the columns, so I'm going to go to choose columns, and I would say I am just interested in date, then type of the voucher, voucher number, okay, narration, and party name. Okay, so you can see narrations like this, and I will say these are my vouchers. Okay, vouchers, and then close and load. So you can see, now issue is that, again, if I want to open this invoice, I have to copy paste this like this and paste this on my browser, which would be very tedious process. So I want to create a hyperlink in this. So let's see how do we turn this into hyperlink. Okay. Now let me insert one column. Now if you see, not all the transaction might have scanned invoices. So we might, so I want to instruct Excel. So I want to instruct basically one column and instruct Excel that if you find a URL, okay, if you find a URL, then kindly please uh, place some placeholder so that I can click and open that invoice. Okay, so I'm going to add one more column called invoice underscore link. Okay, invoice underscore link, and this is table. Now there is a function called hyperlink. Okay, which can is equal to hyperlink, which can turn link into hyperlink. But issue is that we don't have link for each and every transactions. Okay, in the narration, like office share 8. Okay, like this. So I want to instruct Excel that only if it finds any hyperlink or URL, then only it should treat it as a hyperlink. So simple, just check first 4 digits, and if they are HTTP or maybe 5 digit HTTPS, let's check for 4 digits only. So if they are HTTP, then for sure this narration contains link of the scan document. Okay. So I will say if, okay, if 4 digits of left 4 digits, okay, if left 4 digits of this narration is equal to, in double quotes, HTTP, and don't worry, Excel is case insensitive, it doesn't recognize capital and small. Okay, if left 4 digits of narration is HTTP, then it is a hyperlink. So I will say kindly create a hyperlink of this whatever narration is there, and what should be friendly name, that means display name. So I will say, let's say open invoice. So this will be placeholder. Okay, bracket close. But if you don't find any hyperlink, just write double quotes. Okay, that means blank text. Can you see open invoice? Okay, now let's open this file from Excel for web, because real fun is there, because this I'm basically tied to this computer, and it might not be possible that every time this PC might be signed into my business account. Okay, so I'm going to use Excel for web. So I'm going to open this file from here and go to the voucher sheet, and now see the magic. So when I click here, now wherever there is blank, there is no URL. But okay, but if you see, if there is any URL, then this turns to this hyperlink icon, and if you click here, you can see this invoice open. Okay, so like this way we can actually place invoice link, hyperlink in the narration, and you can very easily simply browse and open any of the invoice in one click. Okay, one more scenario we need to take care. Okay, so this thing which I showed is applicable when you have empty narration, no narration. Okay, but what if I have some narration and I want to also capture hyperlink of that invoice? Okay, like monitor. Okay, so if you see, let's locate this transaction in the tally. So it's in computer. Okay, so I have invoice of this voucher available, 52,510. Let me show you that. Dell monitor invoice 52,510. Now issue is that if I place link at, so if I cannot place link at the end, because my first 4 digit would capture MONIT. So let's say if I place this URL of the invoice or hyperlink at the front. But issue is that hyperlink function will attempt to convert all the text, entire text, into URL. So how to handle this? Let me show you. Okay. So first thing is that let's capture URL of this SharePoint URL. I would say go to detail, copy the path. Okay. So I would not disturb this narration. Just I will one space and paste the URL. Okay. Paste the URL. Okay. Now I think let me run the synchronization and then we will see. So again, I would run this sync. And in the meantime, even I need to open this file from desktop based app of Excel. Okay. Because browser based doesn't support refreshing it. Okay. So utility automatically ran. Okay. Now let me open my file nav and let me refresh this, refresh all. Okay, so you can see, but now issue is that how to capture the URL. Now how to capture the URL, let me show you how you can even handle this. Okay, so let me show you one trick. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy and paste this narration here. Okay, copy, I will have to use paste special values. Okay, now key here is to first capture out the URL, because URL can be at the start, end, middle, anywhere. So how you can capture the URL from this, or extract the, not capture, I would say extract URL from this. Let me show you one trick. So there is a function in Excel. Now this is applicable for Excel 365. So if you are using older version of MS Office, sorry, then please upgrade to the newer one, 365 version. Okay. So there is a function in Excel called text split. Okay. So it can split this text, comma, based on some delimiter. So space is my delimiter. Space is my delimiter. So that I am extracting all the words. Can you see 1, 2, 3 del? So monitor x1 del, and this one is URL. Okay. Now I want to locate URL. So for one way is that you can set a pattern. Okay, you can set a pattern for URL that you know, but your URL can be, so you can say tell Excel that always capture the last or first instance of this. But let's say if your cell doesn't have any URL, then it would fail. So there is a function in Excel called filter. Okay, filter. So I would say filter this array. Let me show you how this filter work. Is equal to filter. Okay, array. So it's okay. Moment I select all this, so can you see it has changed to A5 hash. Okay, comma, and here I can say only filter that cell where left 4 digits of this A5 hash left 4 digits of this A5 hash is equal to HTTP. Okay. So the same technique, only it will run for a loop of 5 cells. So I have 5 instances or 5 items extracted. So this filter or left would run for 5 instances. Okay. And if I don't find any such thing, double quotes. Now can you see? It automatically extracted URL from this. Okay. It automatically extracted URL from this. So what I can do, so in this hyperlink, instead of putting it here, maybe I can do like this. Okay, I can simply modify like this inside the hyperlink. Okay, so let's do this. So I will erase out the formula and copy paste this is equal to filter and this. Now issue is that A5 is a array reference. Okay, A5 is a array reference, so I cannot copy array reference. I think first let's start doing this. Now please check how to do this. So I would first say extract, so text split. So in this narration, comma, based on space, extract all the, okay. Based on the space, kindly extract these things. Okay, and here something as overflow. Okay, we get here spill. Okay, so this is not working. Now I need to assign some variable, so I am using let function. So let's say items. Okay, items, comma. So I would say, so I would refer this formula by items. Okay, this one is now tricky. So let items is equal to, that means I am declaring a variable inside a formula, and I am saying kindly store this variable value of this text split. Okay, and here I would say that filter items. Okay, filter items and apply this left of items, comma, for if this is equal to HTTP. Okay, if this is equal to HTTP, then extract URL, otherwise hyperlink is double quotes blank. Okay, function close and bracket close. Okay, now can you see it has automatically extracted URL from this two values. Okay, from this two values. Now I just let me, okay. Now next thing is that we need to convert this to hyperlink. Okay, we need to convert this to hyperlink. And before that, if you get an error, okay, if you get an error, then your hyperlink should be blank, double quotes. Okay, your hyperlink should be blank. That means double quotes. This formula automatically gets copy paste it right till last. Okay, can you see this? Okay, now we need to nest and this entire thing inside hyperlink. Okay, hyperlink, and friendly name is open invoice. Friendly name is open invoice. But before this we need to take care that if you get any blank value, then it should not. Okay, so rather what I can do, instead of writing hyperlink here, okay, instead of writing hyperlink here, I can simply write hyperlink inside this. Okay, hyperlink inside this. So if it turns out error, then those cell would be blank out. But if it finds any URL or hyperlink inside this, then this hyperlink formula function would work. Okay. Okay, let it save this file. Okay. Now let's check this. So now I would open this file from my browser. Okay. Let's check. So let's open this invoice 44. Okay, so this was for fixed asset purchase 001. Okay, let's open second invoice. I will click here. Okay, so this way you can utilize hyperlink function along with all the supporting functions like your let function to declare variable, filter functions, and set up a system like this where you can very easily open links and quickly view your invoices scanned copy. Okay, now I know you have one question, that let's say you have a personal subscription of OneDrive. Okay, so does it works? No. So you need to be on the business plan of Office 365 where you get SharePoint, which is called OneDrive for Business. So it is supported only in that version. And for business version of Office 365, you need to have your domain. Like in my case, excelkida.com is a domain. So I signed up my Office 365 using that domain, and then it got set up. Next question, do I need to be on Azure SQL? Not necessary, but personally I would prefer that be on the Azure SQL so that everything remains online. Okay, so that let's say even if your employees are somewhere outside, not inside your office, they can quickly connect to the cloud-based version of the SQL server right from their Excel file. So friends, if you like this technique, do like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel.